Hi family, greetings from James and Valerie, for those that follow us on YouTube, and as we collaborate with our brother Keith Brown as well, and all those with the same heartbeat, same mindset, on the same level of understanding at this point in time, knowing that we can never arrive. And that's the good news. We always elevate to higher and higher dimensions, because there are so much more, family. And that's why we cannot, stagnate on one level of understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. We all elevate and grow further. Glory be to God. Well, we are now at session number 38, and this is a very sensitive topic. I've made a live on our Facebook profile regarding the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament. Are they the same? Now, our topic for session 38 would be, are Yahweh and Yeshua the same? Well, I hope you've got open hearts to hear, knowing that all our hearers are on different levels of understanding, growth, etc., etc., but still we collaborate, and the unconditional love is the foundation of the 5D awakened sons of God. Now here we go. This is a better question than most people realize, not because it's provocative, but because it asks us to slow down, look honestly, and let Scripture interpret Scripture, instead of tradition interpreting everything for us. Most of us grew up the same way. We were handed a book, the Bible, told it was all in one story, all one God, all one voice. And we were taught to read it the way you read any other book, from Genesis to the end. But when you read it that way, you are immediately confronted with two radically different images. That was my personal experience as well, family, and that's why we can convey this with you. On one side, a violent Old Testament, jealous God, a God who commands destruction, a God who kills abundantly, a God who governs through fear and law. On the other side, New Testament, Yeshua. Let's look at his characteristics. Gentle, healing, forgiving, revealing union, producing life and life abundantly. And we were never taught to question the contrast. I'm sure you can all resonate with me right here, right now, through indoctrination. We were never taught that some were veiled. And as we grow spiritually, veils are being removed from the carnal mind, the one layer after the other layer. We were never taught that the law produces death. Paul tells us that plainly. The letter kills. The law was mediated, added, temporary, a tutor, not the fullness. Yet we were taught that this was God's final word. Then Yeshua arrives. Scripture calls him the expressed image of God, the exact representation, the Logos made flesh. Which raises the honest question, if Yeshua is the expressed image of God, then what exactly was Yahweh being expressed from? Because Scripture also tells us that no one has seen God at any time. Yet, Yahweh is seen. He walks, he speaks, he regrets, he changes his mind, he commands violence. And then Yeshua says, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Another question mark. But Yeshua does not mirror the God of fear and vengeance. He does not stone sinners. He does not demand sacrifice. He does not threaten destruction. He does not coerce obedience. He heals. He restores. He forgives. He reveals love. And that was our experience the past 37 years, the both of us. This is the character of the God that we know.
And that is why I love him so much, because Yeshua revealed the true God.
So either God changed or our understanding changed. This is where most people get stuck, because when love steps onto the stage, the shadow disappears. Light does not argue with darkness, it exposes it. And yet most people are still living in the shadow, calling it light. And I also call that basically deception, because where light and truth are both intermingled, that lands up in deception. They are still relating to a God who tortures, who seeks revenge, who keeps score, and calling that love. And that truly sounds to me like religiosity in 3D, illusionary. They have not walked through the door. They have read about the door, quoted about the door, which is none other than Jesus, Yeshua, defended their interpretation of that door. But they have not entered. That's why the scripture is clear. Enter the kingdom within. Jesus said to find your life, you must lose it. And instead of surrendering, many let the book train their subconscious mind through indoctrination, and let religiosity reinforce the narrative. Fear-based, separation-based, control-based, all 3D. And then they wonder why peace feels distant, why love feels conditional, why union feels foreign. Yeshua does not come to defend the shadow. He comes to illuminate it. He does not come to reinforce the law. He comes to fulfill it and move beyond it, from letter to spirit, from shadow to substance, from separation to union. So the real question remains, are Yahweh and Yeshua the same? Or is Scripture itself inviting us to discern the difference between shadow and light, law and love, fear and union? Now let's end the session with the Spirit's whisper. Light does not compete with shadow, it reveals it. Love unmasks what fear called holy. The door is still open for those willing to enter within. What is revealed was always there. Sending all our hugs all around the world till our next session, James and Valerie, we say, Shalom, Shalom, Namaste.